Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I get to review for you the 1984 classic, Nightmare on Elm Street. And of course I had to bring out Fred the Facehugger here because, well, let's face it, I can't review a movie where the monster's name is Freddy without Fred. He absolutely insisted. He said, look, I haven't been in a video in a while. I want to get back into video. So he decided to come and help me with this video. Fun fact for you, Nightmare on Elm Street is actually based on a true story. Not based. No, that's the wrong word. It's inspired by a story, a news story, true story, where people were having nightmares and dying. There was probably not a knife-handed maniac who was a Christmas sweater enthusiast in this particular true story. The whole overdone pizza Christmas enthusiast that decides to start slashing up people because he's tired of us cutting up pizzas. Why doesn't he have a pizza cutter? Have you ever thought about, like, wouldn't Freddy Krueger be way better with a pizza cutter? Just, it would make more sense. In any case, this film features Robert Englund. It's not England, it's Englund. There's a U in it. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right. As the titular Freddy, and this is probably his most known role, but Robert Englund, world-class actor. And let me tell you something. This is a film about a monster that comes and gets you in your dreams. And it is terrifying. I mean, I've rewatched Nightmare on Elm Street along with Friday the 13th and Halloween. And I have to say, out of all three, Nightmare on Elm Street is the really terrifying movie. I mean, this film is further about gore, and when you look at it, people say there are sexual undertones of this. It's not about sexuality, it's about control. And, you know, it's very present in the way Freddy Krueger kills people, and then you see the corpses later in the film. It's really just unsettling. The images that you're put forth, I'm told that there's like 13 seconds missing from the American cut that is only available on like Laserdisc or something. But that must be a really terrifying 13 seconds, because this film, really, I mean, this is the one. If you're going to be scared, it's going to scare you. Because this thing is just terrifyingly terrifying. Now, I have to point out here that there is also Renee Blakely, I think is her name. Or Ronnie, R-O-N-E-E, Blakely. And she plays the mom. And you're looking at her saying, you have a really great tan for being a mom. You look like a porn star, which is kind of appropriate because almost every adult in this movie is broken somehow. The main character comes from a broken home. Her father and her mother don't live together, and you find out some really dark things about the mother. And it's even implied that this young lady, the main character, had younger siblings that we don't know whatever happened to them. I mean, they were destroyed somehow. It's implied that she had younger siblings that were murdered. And that's just one of those things about this film. There is such a deep, dark undertone, and what great layers, along with some of the most horrifying special effects you could ever possibly want to see in a horror movie. Now, I will admit that one of the things that this film is missing is the obligatory boob shot. There is a nude scene, very brief, hard to see. And, you know, out of all these films, I have to point out this is the one with the least nudity. And I think this franchise is kind of noted for not having a lot of female nudity. The second film in the series is noted for having a decent amount of male nudity, if that's your thing, but I'm not getting into that. Now, the main character, played by Heather Langenkamp, I'm sure I'm butchering that, she is, as an actress, she's pushed, and you could say at some point that her performance is a little overdone. It's not spot on perfect, but I have to also point out this is a horror movie, and these horror, it's like really hard to give the right amount of motion, right amount of emotion, right amount of whatever's going on. As a main character, you know, really, she's a very solid actress. I enjoyed her performance. I think her costuming really was where I liked it the least. There are scenes where it's like, you know, you're not having the heightened arousal you should be getting from that scene because the costuming is just bleh. But that's neither here nor there. Fun fact: this is an early Johnny Depp performance, and he is a long way from being Jack Sparrow. But he is again solid, very well done. Could have been better, but I think he did the role justice. And all in all, look, Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic. You've got to see this film if you love horror movies. It is one of those films you absolutely have to see. Stands above Halloween and Friday the 13th. This is the greatest slasher film I have seen to date. Now, again, that is my opinion. I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. While you're down there, why don't you leave me a like, maybe subscribe if you haven't already, or, you know, do anything that YouTube cares about, because that's how they recommend my video. And I will see you next time. I'm Richard Leland Neal.